Welcome to At the Table. I'm so glad you're here with us. I'm your host, Angel Anan, and today I'm sitting down with a fairly new member of our church family. How long have you been with us?
Did we start coming in the fall, or was it last summer?
I don't know.
At first. Probably should. That's something I
Could
probably
it be almost a year in the summer? So
Yeah,
that really new, really.
Probably because Hazel started this whole year. Right? She started this year. We started coming. Yeah, I guess it was probably last summer that I first started coming.
Wow.
To Elevate, and then learned about Epic.
Coming up to your year anniversary. You're still here.
Yep. We'll have to get that actual date so we know.
I know.
It's probably something I should have, jogged my memory on before I came up here.
Oh, it's okay. I'll ask you harder questions than that. So this isn't scripted, just coffee and conversation. Yeah. Pull up a chair and sit with us as we get to know Nate Pearsall.
Almost.
Did I? What?
We'll keep it that. That's fine.
You said pear.
Yeah. That's how it's spelled.
So how do you say it?
Pearsall.
Pearsall.
Yeah.
Is that French?
No, it's English. I think.
English, yeah.
Yeah. Pearsall, but it's spelled pear.
And then
Saul.
S-E-L-L?
Pears all. So it's like all the pears.
Oh, I totally had it wrong.
All the pears was
okay.
the joke. I would say, because in the military, nobody can spell or say your name correctly. So I would say all the pears, Pearsall.
Pearsall.
So then I can spell it right.
Did you have a nickname growing up from that kind of last name?
No. Just Nate.
Just Nate. Is it Nathan or Nathaniel?
Nathan.
Yeah. Well, I brought you a drink from Inkwell. Mm-hmm. You want to take a sip?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. See if I can do better at the I see foam.
Better than my husband did?
So that's a latte of some sort.
I also had her do it half sweet because you said you didn't like it really sweet, so you may not be picking up a ton of the flavor.
Did you do the honey thing too?
I did.
You did. Yeah. I like honey and coffee.
It's the honey nut latte.
It's awesome.
So it has the butter pecan and honey.
It's really good.
Good.
Yeah.
What would be your go-to drink?
Espresso or Americano.
I was thinking that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, military, like who's drinking a latte?
Nobody.
Yeah, it's girly. Sorry.
Officers. Officers are drinking lattes.
You're an officer today.
No. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You got me.
I gotcha.
No, we got an espresso machine. Well, I got Kate, my wife, an espresso machine for her birthday. And
was that recent, her birthday?
No, that was several years ago, and it changed our coffee game forever.
It does.
Yeah.
What are you using for your bean?
She gets beans from a roaster in like North Carolina. I forgot the name, but they're really good.
Yeah, she's gonna have to try our Inkwell bean.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we sell our beans, and if you like our espresso, we use our regular bean.
I mean, I'm not too selective. I haven't found a bean yet that I'm like, wow, this is really bad.
Oh wow!
You know,
you're not selective.
No,
there's some really bad beans out there.
There probably are.
There definitely are.
Infected with mold and all kinds of other junk. But
my gosh!
Maybe we just don't have those. I haven't tasted them yet.
Jim and I, wherever we go, we'll check out the quote best coffee shop of the area, and we're always disappointed.
Really?
Always.
Well, Jim can't taste them though, right? So it's just you.
Okay. I am the one that's disappointed. You got it. You're absolutely right.
He's probably like, yeah, not bad.
It's like it's garbage. Put in the trash.
That's what I would be saying. It's hot.
So Nathan, do you like to be called Nathan?
Just Nate usually.
You're a Nate.
Yeah.
What does your day look like these days? What's a typical day for you?
Like a work day or a day off day?
What's your ideal day off day?
A weekend, a Saturday,
Actually,
or Sunday.
You're not off the weekends, right?
No, no. I work most weekends now. But that should be changing. We'll see.
Good.
But yeah, just a perfect day like today, nice and sunny. Relaxed morning. You're asking about my ideal day off here. Kind of relaxed morning, casual family breakfast, like either a fun event to do with the family, or like a very tangible, completable task that I can get done in a day or make serious progress on. And then have that wind into a nice, fun evening with friends.
Nice.
And And then, yeah, that's kind of like the ideal day to me. And some swimming would always be good too.
Are you a swimmer?
I mean, yeah,
You just like to swim?
I love to swim. I used to swim. I swam in high school.
That's yeah.
Swam in the Navy. Not for fun, but yeah.
So where are you from?
I grew up in northeastern Connecticut in a town called Bantam, like a tiny little town. Oh. And then ended up going to... It's funny. When I was 13, I went on a backpacking trip. Like a 7-day backpacking trip. I'd never done anything like that. It was like the first real away from home trip that I wanted to do, I guess.
Who'd you do it with?
The Appalachian Mountain Club.
Yeah.
And we hiked over the last mountain ridge we came down was Lafayette.
Wow.
And that became my favorite mountain in history from that point on.
Oh my gosh.
And here I now live in its, shadow, which is
wow.
amazing.
And you've been to other parts of the world, so you've seen other mountains.
Yeah.
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 And this is still what was it about it that you loved so much?
I think there's a ridge that connects it to like Mount Garfield and the Von Clift Range and that kind of area. Mm. And that ridge is one of the most long exposed, like above alpine zone hikes where you just have 360 degrees of view and you're like kind of on a skiddy goat path. And that was just the coolest thing. I didn't know that existed, when I was 13 years old living in Connecticut.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like the finale of the 1 week hike.
Wow.
And by then, I had dealt with, hardship, discomfort. I was at 13, it was like 13 to 16 year olds, and I was the youngest
That's
person
really
on
young,
the crew.
yeah.
And all my equipment was terrible. My boots weren't broken. I had like a frame pack from the 1970s. And I didn't know anything about hiking or even packing my bag, which was cool because I learned a bunch. It was counseled by like 20-year-old hippies, if I'm honest. These kids were probably stoners.
No kidding.
But they were tough as nails, and they taught us a bunch about... I actually kind of fell in love with rucking, backpacking, and that was definitely a seed into my later occupation.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was the coolest thing to put everything you need on your back and go walk around.
That's cool.
And it makes you appreciate the simplest things more, like being clean.
Yeah.
Eating enough food. Not having to purify water.
How long was it? Like a week?
It was a week, yeah.
How'd your parents feel about that?
I don't think they cared. They were excited for me.
Good, yeah.
There was 3 boys. They were probably happy I was gone.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. So just you and 2 brothers.
Yep, the 3 of us.
Are you the oldest?
I'm the middle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you a typical middle?
You did one of those.
I know, I'm a middle too.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of, there's all this, people have opinions about the middle child.
The middle child is the most, like, what's the word? Adaptable.
I think it's the least predictable, like how that person's going to develop too.
Yeah.
I think
that's true.
Maybe that's just my biased opinion.
No, I think that's true.
Yeah. So 2 brothers, older brother, he's a year and a half older than me. Younger brother, about 3.5 years younger than me.
Do they still live in Connecticut?
No, we're scattered to the winds.
Oh.
Yeah, one's in Montana, one's in North Carolina, and we're here.
Oh,
Used to be close to my younger brother.
Yeah.
Which was cool because we could drive down on weekends. We did all the time. Mm-hmm. And he has a daughter the same age as mine, and they're like, there's no person they'd rather see.
Oh, I know that's the best. It's the best when your kids can grow up with with the cousins.
Yeah.
That's what was really tough moving from New Jersey because they left all the cousins. But
where did you guys live in New Jersey?
The Jersey Shore.
Whereabouts?
Spring Lake.
So that was a bad question because I don't know it. All I know.
You're acting like you knew it.
You're like, oh, cool. He knows.
Like, oh, whereabouts?
No, I vacationed. My family would spend a week in Ocean City, New Jersey.
Okay, yeah, that's usually where people go.
Is that close or far?
It's like an hour.
Okay.
An hour south.
Okay. And then my whole family is from Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah.
And I have family that lives in Jersey now.
Do you know where?
If I thought about it.
I mean, Jersey is like so small, but there's like so many places I've never heard of. It's crazy.
Yeah, I should know. If I looked up my phone, I could probably figure it out.
Everybody has somebody in Jersey.
Yeah.
And everybody, like, even if you're like have 10% Italian, they say they're Italian.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever get that? People like, what's your nationality? I'm like Italian. Like, how much? No, you're not Italian. You're 10% Italian. Everybody's an Italian wannabe from Jersey.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
I say that because I'm Italian.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you grow up in a Christian home?
Yes, to an extent. We definitely were a Christian home, I would say, but my dad never went to church except for Christmas and maybe Easter. But I don't.
Yeah.
But I don't. I mean, there's a couple of reasons for that, but and then my mom was the driving force to bringing us to church. We went to an Episcopal church.
Episcopal, yeah. I was going to ask you if it was a denomination.
It was, and I was thinking about it on the way over here. I don't think, my mom still goes to that church.
Wow.
And that church is imploded.
Really?
Yeah, they have a gay pastor, rainbow flags.
Yeah, well,
they're in an ancient congregation that is essentially like it's just a dead church.
That's typically how a lot of them are.
It's a dead
sadly.
church.
Yeah.
And she still goes to it, and for the social aspect of it.
Yeah.
But in all my childhood, God was talked about. Jesus was never talked about.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me.
That's pretty typical. Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's the defining factor.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of a big deal.
He's a little bit.
And that was not imparted upon me.
No, me neither.
It was terribly. It was bad. And it's been a long time before I started understanding that, fairly recent.
I know. Yeah, we can talk about that now or later.
It's too later.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're a retired or ex-Navy SEAL.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go into the Navy, do you go in to be a SEAL or you get promoted up to that?
It's not really like promotion. Like you can be very, very junior and be a SEAL. The rank has nothing to do with the job. SEAL's like a job descriptor.
I guess I meant like you're chosen because of what they see in you.
Oh, no. So
because my nephew went to West Point.
Mm-hmm. That's an officer school.
Right, and then eventually became a ranger.
Mm-hmm.
But not everybody becomes a ranger.
Mm-hmm.
But it was because of, all the things he kept passing and all the character and abilities they saw in him. And I guess he wanted to be too. I guess he could decline. Mm-hmm. But not the same with...
No, it's probably the same. Like you can go to the training pipeline either. You can join as a civilian with the intent to go to BUDS, is what it's basic underwater demolition SEAL training. That's what BUDS stands for.
Underwater?
Basic
basic.
underwater demolition SEAL training. So that's what, the entry level.
No wonder
training.
you did swimming.
Well, I swam before it.
You had to be a pretty good swimmer.
Funny story about that is that swimming is one of the least valuable skills in the SEAL teams.
Really?
Yeah. I can talk about that later if you want to.
Okay.
I was a very good swimmer for the SEAL teams. I was a below average runner.
Did you need to be a good runner?
Yeah, you need to be a good everything.
Yeah.
But I was a pretty mediocre runner and paid for it a lot. Yeah. But no, I didn't get there was not a large benefit for being a good swimmer because just about everyone else is a bad swimmer. So whatever. Tangent.
Are you you're in the water or are you in submarines? I know this is really stupid. I don't know anything about the Navy. I honestly don't.
It can be both. So the SEALs are essentially the Navy's commandos, right? The Army's commandos, I'd say, are special forces or Green Berets.
Okay.
But the Army, they have more types of commandos, right? So they have special forces. They have Rangers. Rangers are basically the best trained light infantry in the world, right? So their job is different. Mm-hmm. They also have Delta Force or CAG, and their job is very specific anti-terrorist or hostage rescue, or very, very high risk surgical military action.
Right.
Then the Navy has SEALs, right?
That's it. They just
And
got SEALs.
So it's supposed to be a different mission. It's supposed to be waterborne search seizure of vessels, combat dive operations, and so a lot of that involves locking out of a submarine, so you can secretly infiltrate somewhere, and then come over the beach, either on a small boat or by swimming, and then do something.
Right.
So that was the initial goal, or parachute into a place, through jumping out of an airplane. So that is the original intent of what they were supposed to do, and then with the global war on terror, which we did really good at, that was totally worth it. All of that kind of blended together with the battlefields of Afghanistan and Iraq, and then later everywhere else we determined there were terrorists. Everyone kind of became a ground-based like fighter, so that all that distinction in the special operations community kind of blurred into one.
Okay.
And now everyone's competing for jobs and blah blah blah.
Were you on the ground then?
Over the course of the GWAT?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But not in those main theaters. Most of my deployments were in Africa, and most of those in Somalia.
So what years were you from? You went in. First of all, what made you want to go into to the military, and why the Navy SEALs?
I knew that was going to get
Yeah.
asked. I guess I thought that I was going to do something more special than I was when it occurred to me. I almost enlisted and almost became an officer in the Marines 2 separate times after 9/11. I remember 9/11. I was a senior in high school and was very aware that it was an attack of some sort. My opinions on that have all changed, but we don't have to get into that.
No.
That might be a bit much for this. But I was motivated at that point to serve in some way, and I also just was enamored with warriors and military and soldiers of all kinds. And, after a conversation with my family, both times I was considering joining the Marines, didn't. And then, so now I'm post-college, staring down, the barrel of the rest of my life of normalcy.
Yeah.
And just not very excited by what I see.
Yeah.
And that became the goal. I wanted to do something that mattered, that was the way I would describe it now, right, through a biblical lens that I now believe I look at the world through, or at least attempt to all the time.
Yep.
Is I wanted to be a righteous peacemaker, but I also wanted to do something that mattered to me, that I could look back on, and be proud of, and achieve something hard. Those are the main goals. And I also, a friend of mine that I grew up with, I bumped into him randomly and found out that he was almost done SEAL training.
Wow.
And that's something that I thought was not even attainable. Like I thought I had it on a higher pedestal of achievement possibility than until I met a friend. I was like, wow, if he can do this, maybe I should stop looking at the Marines and try something else.
So you were how old at that point?
I went in at 26, which is old.
Yeah, because you went to college. What did you graduate with?
A biology degree. So I worked, I ran a painting franchise.
You ran a painting franchise with a biology degree? What happened?
So I rowed in college. So that's rowing boats, crew, the skinny ones.
Yep.
And a friend of mine he got out and started running a painting franchise, which turns out are all pyramid schemes. But I started working for him every summer and basically moving up in management. First I was running a site of 2 painters, and then I was running a larger crew of more painters, and we'd be painting houses for him. And then he talked me into being a franchise manager the 3rd year. So then I ran 3 crews, 9 employees. This is as a senior in college.
Wow. Oh, you hadn't even graduated yet.
No, I was booking all these jobs.
Wow.
My senior year. So I produced $150,000. I mean, it was more than that, but I painted a bunch of houses, had 9 employees, didn't make really a cent until they all went back to school. And I started painting houses by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a mess, but did that. And then I started working at a local pharmaceutical company in southern New Hampshire, which was definitely plays a part in the story to come.
Yes, I could imagine.
Yeah. So that was a miserable job. It was like my first experience with corporate America. And I had like 3 different positions in that job. I worked on the manufacturing floor, which is a clean room.
Yep.
Here I am with a biology degree, working with a bunch of people that came from a tannery because they understand manufacturing. Great people. Just, I'd be like, do you guys know what's going on in there? Like, we don't care. We pump the goop like through the tubes, like that was it. And then I tried 3 different positions at that company, and I didn't like them all. But the third one gave me a desk job, which let me start the application process for getting a SEAL contract.
So where'd you graduate from college? I'm just wondering why you didn't go into biology.
Because biology is boring.
What did you study it for?
It was the least boring thing.
Come on, you could have found something else.
Honestly, I'm very interested in science. I really do like science.
Yeah.
Specifically like human performance science and wellness. That's why like Nick and I are kind of kindred spirits in that. Alternative medicine at this point is something I'm very interested in alternative ways to improve your health. And then, a lot of the common ailments that people deal with these days are not I believe they're not what they're advertised as.
I know.
And now they just want to throw in some kind of pill or drug at you.
Yep.
Without fixing the problem, just a Band-Aid.
A whole nother podcast. Jimmy could interview you for that. Now, when you were in the military, you did not know your wife. You were not married, right? Did you meet Kate?
False. We actually met in college.
What college did you go to?
UNH.
Okay, so you met there. Did you date?
Yes. We started dating the summer of our junior year. So we've been together since 2005.
Wow.
But we've been married since 2011.
So you dated all through college, and then you were dating while you were in the military.
Before I was in the military.
Yeah, before, and then continued because you weren't engaged or anything. Obviously, no, because you were
dragging my feet.
And she stuck with you, huh?
Yeah, she did.
Obviously,
she's awesome. That's one of the amazing, benefits I can look back on now.
Yeah.
Was joining the military forced me to commit to her because she was worth it, and I was probably still being a bit immature at that time, but it forced me to really reflect and decide, like, this woman is worth it. You're gonna want to keep her around.
Yeah, she is.
You better
worth
make
it.
her a promise.
That was probably the best decision you ever made.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, did you go into the military because you loved your nation and you wanted to make a difference for America?
Yeah. I thought that I would be in charge of not in charge, but involved in doing important world events to fight evil and for the benefit of good.
Did you do that, or was it disillusioning?
It was illusionary.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of guys that do that, that join the military for that exact reason.
I agree. That's what I've heard, yeah.
Just about all of them.
Yeah, right.
Especially in special operations.
Yeah.
I mean, there are also psychos. There's people that join because they just want to do bad things.
Yeah.
But they're the minority. The vast majority of the guys that join to do those jobs is because they love their country and they want to be involved and they want to matter.
Yeah. When did you realize, or when did you become disillusioned? Was it during or after?
It started during.
Yeah.
The places that we were deploying to are kind of, they're fringe. They're not really known, right? So we deploy all over. None of them. There's no such thing as a declared war anymore. That hasn't been a thing since maybe Korea.
Yeah.
So it became abundantly clear that what we were trying to do there was not like weren't really trying, the places that I was, we weren't really trying to minimize. We were playing whack-a-mole with, forces that could grow and have influence on the area. So I was in Somalia. The places, the people we were primarily combating are Al-Shabaab. It's my opinion that being a major and important waterway, if you remember, there was piracy issues at that time.
Yeah.
Where, guys on outboard motors are zooming and
Yeah, I do
taking
remember
ships
that.
hostage and
Right.
ransoming.
Yeah. You were.
That was going.
You
That
were
kind of
involved
happened
then.
just before I got there, but then the follow-on consequence of that was to restrict the growth of like violent extremist organizations in that region, so that they could not do that again and make the waterways more complicated. So, but what does that come from? It's really just controlling global shipping and trade, with the illusory justification of trying to make a country more free. But that's not the case.
Yeah.
Like, Somalia is not even really a country. It's like two separate ones that was a French colony that then turned. I'm sorry. We're way out. I see.
Like
I watched you glazing.
You know why? Because you brought up geography.
Yeah.
I'm so illiterate.
It's okay. I'm getting into it. I can get into that stuff. My wife would glaze over too. Sorry.
No, don't apologize. I think it's funny.
Anyway, I saw that we were what we were doing wasn't what it was advertised.
Yeah.
Like we'd be clearing villages that had been cleared, 5, 6, 10 years ago. Again, there was no real plan except for, and like I said, minimizing organizations that could have influence. Now, they were violent. There's no doubt about it. Right. They're Islamic militant, gangs, for lack of a better reason or better explanation. But is it our problem? Should it be our problem? Should we be blowing taxpayer dollars to do that?
Yeah.
I don't think that was ever even a discussion.
No.
But that's one example. So we were doing that, and then traveling all around the world. Other places I went was like Nigeria, places in Europe, Panama, and just kind of seeing the fruits of what we were actually doing was pretty minimal.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so often life doesn't play out like we think it's going to.
Yeah.
But we always love to say that God doesn't waste anything.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you feel like was redemptive, or was God doing in your life in that time? Or were you more aware of Him? Or even now?
I would say that like throughout my time in the military and in the SEAL teams, I would reach out for God. I got injured a couple times when I was training, like going through selection, where I needed help, and like finding Him at the lowest point.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to Angela's class, and I kind of used it as like I had a better analogy, but it was kind of like a spiritual piggy bank I was reaching into.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't really a relationship, but just
Right.
asking for help, and I really needed it, and I had nowhere else to go. Like if I'm facing something really hard, or I could die,
Right.
or at a low point, if that makes sense.
Did you feel like He was there, or was it just like a comforting thing to like reach out?
I think there was nothing else to do but
Right.
pray.
Well, they say there's no atheists in foxholes, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
But
I think so.
I'm just wondering, because sometimes like before we really have truly become born again, and we could see like where God was in our story, even if we were reaching out, or we could even see where He was reaching to us, and we look back and like, I may not have felt it, but He really was there.
He was there the whole time.
Yeah.
My whole life.
So you can see it now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My whole life. For
Yeah.
sure.
When did you become born again and just truly surrendered to Jesus? And
Well, I haven't been rebaptized, and I think I need to be.
wait, rebaptized? When were you baptized the first time?
7 years old.
Yeah.
And I don't think
in
that,
the Episcopal Church.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, you have to be rebaptized. We'll do that
Yeah, I want to. I've been waiting for.
usually in June.
That'd be great. Not that not that I think that has to do with my belief or my redemption or being born again necessarily. Like I've been learning a lot about the Bible that I did not know for the vast majority of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm listening to a pretty interesting podcast right now on the redemptive benefit of baptism and how that's not a thing. It's what it is, vice how some other groups feel it is differs wildly.
Yeah, because biblically you're learning about what it is.
Yeah. And then how that's changed over the millennia.
Totally has changed.
Just wild.
Well, I don't know if you've heard Jim he's mentioned it many times that to the new Christians in Jesus's day, being baptized was like you now were cut off from your community. Like it was a public admission that I am following this risen Savior who, most were denying that he was. So it was a huge deal. Mm-hmm. And I think we're kind of getting back to it. I think God's given us a lot of revelation here too, that we don't just baptize just anybody who's like, oh, I need to be baptized. Mm-hmm. But like, do you know what you're doing?
Yeah.
And then I think then it really makes an impact on your life. And it's kind of like if you really understand the significance of the covenant of marriage, and then when you make those vows to your wife on your wedding day or she to you, it impacts you forever.
Yeah.
And impacts you in a greater way than just, we're getting married, just to, not realize the impact and the significance of it. So, wow, I can't wait for your baptism. It's going to be powerful.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. That was my hesitancy in saying, so like that kind of, I think I talked to you about it not that long ago too, but like combating a whole bunch of previous understanding of how Christianity worked, right? And then learning and growing myself has been a walk, has been a process, and has been very valuable, very beneficial, and rewarding. I do consider myself born again. I do.
Yep.
So it must be true.
It's absolutely true.
We talked about that, but like briefly, I think we did in passing, but
we did.
That didn't happen until the end of my military career when COVID all happened.
Yeah, that was the end.
COVID was the stimulus.
Yeah. Where
I really cried out and God answered.
Wow. You were married at this point.
Yep. I was married.
And Kate was born again, believer, or did you kind of both do it at the same time?
I think she kind of came along with me.
Wow.
Maybe a little bit after as well. We both had almost the same experience growing up.
Yeah.
She went to church. Dad didn't come. Wasn't anything more than a box check on Sundays.
Yep.
She went to a Presbyterian church. I went to Episcopal church.
Very similar.
Nobody talked about Jesus.
No.
We read scripture in monotone voices. Nobody was happy to be there.
No, we were Catholic. Yep.
Yeah. We both have this like affinity for hymns too. We like hymns. I
love hymns.
We love hymns too.
It's doctrine. It's so powerful.
I like hymns. And that's been new for us. Like Elevate's very new for us.
We're not hymns. Every once in a while, Lori will throw in an updated hymn.
Well, just like, everything about it.
I know. How did you find Elevate?
Meg.
From CrossFit?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, the Kennedys turned us on.
What was it like your first experience here? Did she prep you?
Well, see, we moved up here after we got out, and I had been, I had been looking for a church for our family. Mm-hmm. I wanted to find a community for us that I approved of the pastor. I approved of, I wasn't going to drag my 6-year-old at the time daughter and wife along to a bunch of different churches that were a waste of our time.
Right.
So I had been going to a lot of different churches.
By yourself?
By myself.
Good.
I started when we were down in Thornton. I was doing it in Virginia before we left. And then up here, I went to a number of different ones. And Meg told me about Elevate, and we popped in, and it's just awesome group, awesome space.
What was your first impression?
I wasn't not scared off, but I wasn't. I guess maybe even uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Or as unfamiliar.
Yeah.
As Kate
Yeah,
might have been,
comfortable.
because I had gotten more exposure to different types of worship. It was still. I had never seen dancing in worship before. That was new. That was first.
Yeah.
But
Even though it's in the Bible.
There's
And not a lot of churches do it, but I mean, it's just beautiful.
I mean, it is beautiful, and I see it as like it's for the glory of God.
Yeah.
Right? Singing, dancing,
All
worshiping,
right. Yeah.
praise. Like I don't think it needs to be constrained to an extent. So I think it's
Exactly.
beautiful, and the community and the love that all of the worshipers in Elevate you can feel it.
Yeah.
Right? You can feel it. There's you can go into a bunch of churches and feel that like these people either don't believe to the same capacity or they don't do what they say. They don't care about each other the same way. There's just love here, which is amazing.
I love that. That's why I'm asking you, because I feel like that's taken a while to build that culture, and that's what everybody says. And there's nothing that could make me and Jim and the leadership happier than that. And I feel it too, because there was I won't get into it years and years and years ago.
You can. I don't know.
It's been quite the journey trying to get people to bond and be a family, and that's what we have that's really special here. What was the transition like out of back into civilian life and military?
Hard,
Yeah.
tough, strange, but also then in some ways it hasn't really happened. Well, no, that's not true. It's also, so I work with, the guys that I work with now are retired special operations, right? So my coworkers are me's, which
So
is
you're
helpful.
still kind of in it.
No, but like I know who that guy is right away.
Yeah, that's great.
You know?
Yeah.
And then it's just figuring out the edges of what kind of personality.
Yeah.
But very similar guys, doesn't matter what branch. So that's been nice. It's been like training wheels.
Yeah. Well, because how many years since you've been out?
I got out in April 23.
Oh, not very long. 3 years.
Feels long to me.
3 years. We're in April.
It feels really long to me.
Yeah.
Like that's almost, it's funny. I look at everything in like an undergraduate degree,
Yeah.
4-year blocks. I'm like, wow, I used to think that was forever,
Yeah.
but I guess that'll change.
So what do you do now? Can you explain?
I'm a firearms and tactics instructor at a company that runs a range here in the area. And I teach military, law enforcement, and civilians how to shoot better.
Do you like it?
I do. There's things I like about it and things I don't like about it, like
Yeah.
every job, I don't like working weekends.
No. That might change.
It might change.
We got to pray that one in.
Yeah.
God can move that one.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Because how long have you been there? You've been there the 3 years?
Yeah, I started in April 2023.
Yeah, so you might start having a little clout.
I do have some clout, but just we operate pretty tight margins. It's a tough. I mean, you're a business owner. You understand.
Yep.
It's not. Not that I am, but like, the consequences are real. Like you got to keep producing,
Yeah.
and it's just like we just have tight margins,
Yeah.
The company's growing. Is it what I want to do forever?
It's not your company though, right? You
No.
work for it. Yeah.
I'm an employee, but it's not.
What would you like to do if you could, if money wasn't the issue? And
Probably hunt bad people.
so you're still military in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah, you must have like such a, when you see what's going on in the world, like how do you maintain a level of peace? And because it can really make you crazy when you lived
Yeah.
it.
That's hard.
It is hard.
It's hard, right? Because if the whole reason you started the job was, to be a righteous peacemaker
Yeah.
and to stop bad people from doing bad things.
Mm.
And then you find out where they actually might be. It's a lot closer than you thought. That is, yeah, that's tough. That is hard. That is hard.
I guess you really have to work that out with God.
Yeah. There's also a shelf life for someone to do work like that. And I'm not exactly a spring chicken, so that might have to move on. But that's still kind of like.
Well, how would you do that? You'd have to you can't just go out rogue and hunt bad people. You
No,
have to go back into the
yeah.
military.
You can't. That's the problem. Is so. There's a number of organizations they're trying to get started, specifically retired soft operators that want to hunt pedophiles.
Oh.
They want to prosecute pedophiles, hunt them down, and that'll probably get you banned off YouTube just for talking about them.
Yeah.
But there is a shocking amount of roadblocks to getting anything like that done due to interstate jurisdictions, law enforcement constraints, right? You can't just go vigilante hunting bad guys, right? You need to build a case and evidence. But a lot of those agencies, both state and federal, either hamstrung to do so or worse, or they're co-opted not to really take action on things, or that's a big thing for me, right? So human trafficking, and that's something that really makes me furious.
Boil.
Yeah, boil. That, anything against kids,
Yeah, I can
I have
see
a
that.
serious problem with. Yeah, I think that people that are involved in that kind of stuff. But then I'm finding out that's been going on for ever.
I know. It can be so overwhelming and so disheartening. But I know that when God gives us certain passions, he wants us to do something about it. I don't know if you know Christine Kane. Have you heard of her?
No, is she local? Or
No, she's global.
Okay.
She's a preacher. I really like her. She's out of Australia. And she started A21. I don't even know what it stands for. Forget. Lori introduced us to it. This huge human trafficking ministry now. And when she first started, God was calling her into it. She's like, I don't know anything about that. I'm a preacher. I don't know what. And it's really amazing. But the thing is, when God directs your path, he opens up these doors that you'll be like, how did I get here? So I would not be surprised if he does something that for you, because it's just you have to do something. And I love that you're saying you're this righteous peacemaker.
That was the goal.
Well, and where do you think that came from?
I think I have a strong drive for justice, that justice should be served.
Yep. Yep.
Whether that was how I was raised, I'm sure it was how I was raised, but that's part of it. And then whatever media I consumed, and then the seeds of righteousness through God,
Right.
that I received as a child.
Right.
For all the failings of my church, it still planted the seed that has me here.
Isn't that amazing?
Right? So for, the church I grew up in is essentially just, ashes in a, it's called St. Paul's, the church was called St. Paul's. St. Paul.
Right, Paul, the
apostle.
one that wrote
Paul.
most of the New Testament.
Most of the New Testament, right? Everything he has to say, and it has a homosexual minister, and just absolutely no following.
That is the way
It
the
might as well be a
Episcopal has
crater.
gone. I know.
A smoking crater in the ground. That's like how on earth? It's wild.
Well,
But that led me to now.
I know.
Now,
Right.
it's just incredible. It's beautiful, but I essentially was very self-focused in the military in my life. I was very, very focused on what I needed to do to help my team to train, to be ready for this and that and the whole thing. And everything else was secondary, tertiary, quaternary. And I did not even think about God or Jesus on a daily basis, weekly basis. I do now, every day.
It's awesome.
which is that's evidence to me that
Yeah.
my entire perspective on the world has changed
Completely.
completely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's many other things too, but that's just something to share.
Do you regret going in the military?
No,
Good.
not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
How did it shape you?
It challenged the heck out of me. Right? It put me in uncomfortable positions. It let me see the world in a way that I wouldn't have otherwise. It taught me skills that I think are valuable, regardless. It gave me exposure to a whole lot of people that, you're working, when you're working in any special operations community or any military community, it forces you to check your own ego and realize that you're working with some very intelligent, very capable, and motivated other people.
Yeah.
And so there's a strong element of humility and also responsibility that comes from it that was very valuable. There's a lot of good takeaways from it,
Good.
which I'm thankful for.
Yeah. Do you feel like it changed you? I don't want to say permanently. I mean, permanently in those good ways, but
Yes.
as
Short
more,
answer, yes. But go on.
Yeah. I mean, how are you not changed kind of for the not so good negatively? Because like sometimes you can meet ex-military and they're just broken,
Yeah.
like never to recover. You obviously you don't give that persona whatsoever.
That's good.
Of course, you have God in your life, you have Jesus in your life.
Yeah.
But did you wrestle with like some of that, PTSD and stuff, where you just, I mean, I don't know what you saw, what you did. I guess it depends on that as well.
I didn't have a PTSD from any combat operations, but I was fortunate that I didn't have like good friends killed near me.
Yeah.
I think that'd be very, very difficult.
Yeah.
And I didn't participate in anything morally horrendous that would haunt me.
Okay.
Right. And I think that those are the two main things that
Yeah.
happen to guys that,
Right.
and then you take those two potential crises and layer them with substance abuse.
Yeah.
Those I think are the worst possible, that combination of things that can happen to guys.
Yeah.
So guys that, when I was in the main AOs or areas of operation of Iraq and Afghanistan were winding down or were less, we weren't involved in them.
Yeah.
Or I wasn't. And so I didn't see that kind of heavy combat and wasn't, at the time you thought, man, you missed it. That's
Yeah.
terrible.
You wanted to, right? Because
Oh, yeah.
you're trained and
Yep.
like, this is what you want to defend get the bad guys and
Yeah, everyone wants to go use the skills that they're
Yeah.
trained to do.
right.
At the time, everyone where I went was like the coolest place among the guys. It was the place to be, but it was still relatively mild. Well, definitely mild compared to the peak of
Yeah.
GWAT in Afghan and Iraq. So I didn't see the level of combat that those guys saw, and I didn't lose friends in combat. And I think the more missions you're on, the more targets you prosecute, the more likelihood something's going to go slightly wrong, right? There's bad things happen by accident,
Yeah.
right? Searching a compound in the middle of the night with limited visibility and communication, someone might get shot by accident that isn't supposed to.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it happens.
while there's an excuse for it, it's going to haunt that person.
Yeah.
And I'm just very, very fortunate that didn't happen to me.
Right.
Yeah.
So it made your adjustment back into civilian life a little bit easier.
A little bit, except when I got out was during the COVID crisis, and I felt betrayed by my leadership. My leadership did betray me, and that was a different kind of. That's where I truly found God.
Wow.
Was in that thing.
You met the one who got betrayed by a friend?
Mm-hmm.
He understands
Mm-hmm.
the betrayal. Wow. So what do you think God's teaching you right now? What's he doing in your life?
I'm asking for guidance. I'm asking for how to serve him. I'm still waiting.
Oh, we can help you with that.
Well, yeah, still waiting for that, but definitely I think I'm being reshaped in some ways. So I think I'm learning some patience. I'm also learning about his love, right?
Yeah.
I went from the Episcopal Church that really just didn't teach me anything
Right.
to hanging out with a whole bunch of strong believing, more Protestant Baptist guys. Right? I was part of a Bible study with a bunch of SEALs that was life-changing.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah. That must be great.
Life-changing.
Yeah.
But there's a strong element on our sin nature,
Yep.
which I think is very beneficial in some ways. But because I think men need that
Yeah.
to check their egos. Because it's true. However, at a certain point, it just turns into flagellation, like self-flagellation.
Yeah.
And I want to be more productive than that, and I want to fully understand God's love. So
That's awesome.
working on it.
I have a scripture for you.
Okay.
Good segue.
Are you wrapping us up?
It's been almost an hour already.
Oh, man.
We're going to wrap up with what I call the closing 10. And I'm going to rapid fire some questions at you, and you're going to tell me what first thing that pops in your head.
Oh,
They're
boy.
just fun, super
Okay.
easy. And so when I was praying for you, I really got this sense of the fatherhood of God, and he just wanted to reiterate that you're his son and that his love for you is so extreme. So Romans 8, and I'm reading from the Passion Translation because this one's a little more poetic. I don't know, you seem like you're a poetic guy.
Oh, what?
Pretty deep.
Okay.
Pretty deep guy.
Thanks.
Let's see, Romans 8:15. And you did not receive the spirit of religious duty, leading you back into the fear of never being good enough, but you have received the spirit of full acceptance or adoption, enfolding you into the family of God, and you will never feel orphaned. For as he rises up within us, our spirits join him in saying the words of tender affection, Beloved Father. But the Holy Spirit makes God's fatherhood real to us as he whispers into our innermost being, You are God's beloved child. That's for you.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
You are deeply loved, Nate.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was well selected.
Well, you can blame the Holy Spirit for that one. Yeah, he loves you. So I just believe you're going to have just more and more encounter as you've been asking for a revelation of his love. And you meditate on those scriptures, and the Holy Spirit's going to make it so real to your heart. And love that he says the Holy Spirit is in us that whispers, You are God's beloved child. You know, each of us, he bears witness that we're his. And when we get that revelation, our whole life changes. You know, we can know it in our head, and we can say it, and we can sing about it. But Holy Spirit, when he reveals it to us, like, you're his son. You're his son.
Yeah. Another huge, well, probably the main point of evidence I have that I am born again is that stuff like that makes me ready to cry.
Yeah.
Which is wild. And, that scripture can hit me like that. Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's the Hebrews says that the word of God is living and active, sharper than a two-edged sword. You know, it's alive.
Mm-hmm.
When you know the author. Otherwise, it's just a book. But it is just love the Bible, God. What would we do without God's word, his words to us that are written? Because we can guess, what he's saying. If we're, listening to our spirit, we can guess. We think it's us. But most of the time it's going to sound like us. Mm-hmm. But we have a whole book. Mm-hmm. So thank you for coming on today. This was great.
I hope it was good.
It's great. It was really good to get to know you a little bit more. Love your wife. Love your kids.
Thank you.
You're just an awesome family. You're so blessed.
Well, we love you guys, and you have changed our lives and made us feel welcome, and like we have a place up here.
I'm so glad.
It's been like there was before and after, and
Before and after Elevate?
yeah,
Oh, wow.
for sure. Like we moved up here, and for about 2 years,
Yeah.
didn't really have any community to speak of.
Yeah.
First people we met were in St. Johnsbury, so we were traveling there a ridiculous amount, but it's a wonderful church, a wonderful community of believers, and
Yeah.
not to mention, Epic Academy, which
It's awesome.
we feel tremendously blessed to have here.
It's awesome.
And now we have the opportunity to bring our daughter up with an understanding of who God is, to the point where we're giving her an advantage. Like, she has her own life. She's going to make her own choices, but she's going to know. She's going to know a lot more than I did.
Yep. Right.
She knows at 7 years old, she knows more than I did when I was baptized.
Yeah.
I
I know. I listen to these kids pray, and I'm like, they pray better than me.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's
incredible.
amazing.
It's incredible.
Well, it's that raising them up in their identity. Where those of us who got saved later in life have to. It takes a while to get the identity reformed in us.
Yeah.
As children of God.
Paul's a perfect example, though, right?
Yeah.
He kind of happened to him, too.
That's right. All right, you ready?
Sure.
Okay. First thing that comes to your mind. Don't think too much about these.
Just like blurt stuff out.
Blurt it out. We can always edit. My favorite comfort food or snack is?
Probably pancakes or cinnamon buns.
What is it?
Pancakes or cinnamon buns.
All right. My favorite season is because?
Fall. Because it's perfect.
Wow, everybody's saying fall lately.
Well, fall up here is like late summer.
Yeah.
But I like them all. It's tough.
Do you like the winter?
At first.
Yeah, right. Okay. We won't even discuss it.
I mean, I love summer too. But,
I love summer.
My
favorite holiday is?
Thanksgiving or 4th of July.
My favorite band or musician is?
Jeez. That's a tough one for me.
Do you like a lot of different kind of music?
So I do. And I try to filter it now because I think there's a lot of subliminal messaging
Yeah, there is.
that I grew up listening to, being shaped by. So I'm a bit more discerning, but there's a band called Sleep Token, which is either covertly Christian or demonic.
That's two extremes.
See? That's why it's a hard question. But if you listen to some of the lyrics, you'd understand.
Now I'm curious. I'm going to have to go look them up.
Well, this guy's they're either demonic or they're trying to spread the gospel covertly. I don't know. But why would it be covert about it? I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Maybe I'll let you listen to a song.
I will. I love the sound of.
Rain.
I love the smell of.
Babies. My daughter.
A random talent I have is.
Drawing.
Oh, good to see some of your work.
I haven't done it in a while.
Wow. Maybe it's time to.
Maybe.
We all need a creative outlet. One word my friends would use to describe me.
Too much. I don't know. That's 2 words. Analytical, maybe.
That's why you and Nick get along so well. Lately, I've been really grateful for.
Friends.
Right now, I'm looking forward to.
Growth.
Awesome. And because we are at the table, final question. To me, the table is?
Fellowship.
Yeah. Wow. Thanks, Nate. This was great.
Thanks for having me.
It was awesome. Thanks for sitting at the table with us today. My hope is that these conversations turn a familiar or not so familiar face into a deeper connection and remind us that we're not just a group of people who gather, but a family that belongs to one another. So join me next time at the table.